I had a client recently that was really struggling with her story, which inspired me to make a video about what story are you telling yourself? Because our stories and what we believe about ourselves really impacts our lives. So with that said, I want to give you a little bit of background to the lady that I'm currently working with. So 2 years ago, she ended up in hospital. She had a massage that damaged a nerve in her neck, and she ended up being on a hospital bed with a doctor telling her this could be the last few days that you're alive, so you should get everything in order and contact your loved ones. Can you imagine being in that situation? So she gets that. Then she recovers, she starts moving forward, and then a year later, she's back in hospital, also really ill, from burning out, from overworking herself. And as she's looking up and thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? A year goes by, and I'm starting to talk to her. Now, I can tell immediately she is living her own story. Now, we have experiences that happen in our lives. However, if those experiences then define who you are, then your past is looking to define you instead of you defining your future. So let me explain. When I was speaking to her, she was saying things like, I just need to really focus on myself right now. You know, different things are happening in my life, but I have to focus on me and I have to move myself forward. Now, just a little bit of background. This is great progress for her because she used to please everyone else. And she used to be the pleaser mentality, right? I need to please these people, and that's why she burnt out previously. So it's great that she's looking after herself. However, the key here is she feels that she only has to look after herself because if she doesn't, then she'll get ill again. So what's happening is she wants to improve herself. She's focusing on herself, which is a great step. However, she's looking backwards. She's thinking, okay, I want to move forward, but I don't want to be ill. And illness is her focus. So throughout our conversation, what she was saying to me is that I really want to go back to how I was, where I had loads of energy, I could power through, and I just don't feel like I'm there yet. And throughout our conversation, she started to gain a new perspective. And as she was speaking, she realized that she's never been more aware of her health. Because she's aware if she's feeling tired, if she's burning out, if she's not eating the right food. She understands what food does to her body. She understands being out of balance structurally. Right? And she actually understands this. So I was questioning her and I was saying, so maybe you understand more about your body now than previously. Would you say that's true? She said, yeah. So, okay. So given that, is it possible for people to be ill without knowing it? And you can think about this for yourself. Do you know anyone who's actually really unwell, not doing well, but they don't know it, and everything seems fine, and they just power through and power through? And the conclusion that she came to was that she was actually more ill previously because she would just keep going and keep going and keep going, but she just wouldn't feel anything and any emotions, which was more unhealthy than now where she's starting to feel things again. So she came to realize that she's actually in the best health condition of her life now. But before the call, she believed that she had to, make sure I wasn't ill, I don't want to get stressed, and she got stuck in a story. And her old story was, I'm ill, if I don't look after myself 24/7, I'll get ill again, I'll go to hospital and I can die. That's a shit story to tell yourself. The new story is her health has been the best it's ever been, and now she can start to explore, start to lay seeds, and start to build that foundation to be able to help others and move herself forward. So why am I sharing this with you? Because I've noticed that when I speak to people, they often have a story that, depending on what they say to themselves, acts as a trajectory for their life. So for you right now, what's the story you're telling yourself? Is it an action? Is it fun? Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Or maybe it's a horror? Right? And some of the clients that I've worked with, they've had horror stories. They've had roller coaster stories that goes up and down. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever watched a film and you've gone with a partner or a friend and you've watched the film, you thought it was fantastic, and your partner thought it was terrible? Well, you thought it was crap and your partner thought it was great. Has that ever happened to you? It happens with me and my fiance all the time. I'll watch a film and I'm like, that was incredible. It was action-packed. It was fun. It was amazing. She looks at me and she says, that was terrible. That was the worst movie I've ever seen. We watched the same thing, yet we have completely different interpretations of it. Maybe if someone looked at your life and they looked at how you lived it so far, they would have a different interpretation. Maybe you're choosing to look at all the negative things in your life instead of looking at some of the positives, which could help you move forward. Wouldn't now be a good time to change that story? So what I would like to pose to you is, what is a new story that your life could be about? If you were to write your story out on paper and you had a shitty story to begin with, how could you change that shitty story into an action? Because remember, there's always two sides. The positive is always there just as much as the negative. And you can very much create the twists and turns, but it's up to you. But remember, the mind will always look for things that are negative. So this is going to condition you to look for the positives. And as you create your new story, you're going to be able to create a spectacular life and help you move forward with that. So after you've written your new story, you think, you know what, my story is going to be about a hero who's gone through shit, but it powers him. He's going to break through and get ready to rock and roll and like rip this world up and just create the biggest impact I possibly can, create multiple businesses, and they are ready. The truth is that everything that I've been through has been a challenge that's made me who I am today, and I'm stronger and fitter and better than I've ever been to be able to create everything that I want. Or, you could have a story of being a victim and life sucks and life's unfair and you should probably just do nothing. Very much up to you. So after you've written your story, however you like, be it new or old, I want you to take one action to make that story a reality. If you've changed your story from a horror to an action, take an action. You've changed your horror to a comedy, right? Go do something that's more fun or more different. However, what's most important is to take action and align with your story. And maybe look at your story every week and it'll start to condition you so you can start to really encapsulate that story in you and move your life forward. I really hope that the story of your life through this call, I say call, I'm not sure why I say call, through this video, it's like a one-on-one chat, through this one-on-one, allows you to look at your life in a different perspective. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to chatting to you soon. Take it easy.